Well, we will get started. Thank you, everybody, for hopping on. This is the Profit Playbook in 2025, like a badass. And if some of you, I see some of you on here are already badasses, this is just going to make you more badass. So if you think this is not the place for you, 100% this is the place for you. Before I introduce my guests, I'm going to go through this ad nauseum with you all until you finally say, Heather, I have purchased my ticket. Stop yelling at me. Come to the Pharmacy Profit Summit. It's going to be so good. You know, our team had a meeting this morning and Lisa really broke down her plans and the content that's coming. And it is a lot of really good business stuff. It is not so clinical, although there is some clinical stuff, but the leadership and the business stuff will be business changing. So get your tickets now. Now, if you are a member, get your ticket inside of the member portal. Remember, we don't want Lisa yelling at Heather. That happens sometimes, but it's for Heather's, you know, it's because I deserve it, quite honestly. But if you members could purchase your tickets inside of your membership, I would super appreciate that. And you get a discount. You get member pricing. So don't give up your pricing. So today's topic is an antibiotic, not an antibiotic, good gravy, a probiotic. And I did that just so you guys would perk up. I do not want you to shut your ears off when I say a probiotic. This probiotic is very special and it's for a very particular use, which I will let Craig and Ryan educate us more on. So this is our profit matrix. If you are a member, I hope that you are checking these off and letting us know how well you're doing. If you're not a member, and when you become a member of ours, this is what you have to look forward to, is these strategies to really take your pharmacy from where it currently is to a badass. Now, today's topic really falls on the OTC sales multiplier. This is a great OTCs to put in your front end, and it's going to multiply. It's going to keep people coming back. And just a little hint, I tell you guys all the time, I love finding products that are doing their own marketing as well. And these folks are doing marketing that you can piggyback on. So keep that in mind as we are not turning our ears off because we already have probiotics. We're turning them on and listening because these friends have really good information for us. Now, if you want to become a Pharmacy Badass University person, scan that there or reach out to me or Mike, our fabulous business coach, who is always my co-host with me, and we can get you connected because I'm going to switch this real fast. So to get to our point, Skinesa is a probiotic that I've been taking. Everybody look how pretty I am. Take away all my red, all my stuff. And even in a little embarrassing moment, which Craig told me not to talk about, but eventually I will talk about it because you guys know that I am an overshare. So today, Skinesa is our guest company with Ryan Walters, who is the CEO, and Craig Presser, who is, I don't know what your official title is. Craig, help me out with that.
No, they never really gave me one. I acquired the North American rights to distribute Skinesa throughout the independent pharmacy retail chain.
So you're King Skinesa is what I'm hearing.
I am hardly King Skinesa. I would leave that to Ryan and his partner, Aaron.
Well, he's the universal.
I just write their coattails. That's
yeah.
all. That's fine with me.
Just a few housekeeping rules so you guys know. I really encourage bad behavior around here. So I am here to speak for the pharmacists. So the pharmacists are allowed to interrupt us at any time. They will put their questions in the chat and we will ask the questions because I want to be their voice. We want to get their questions answered so we can get it on their shelves and money in their pockets so much faster. So that is the one big rule around here. The pharmacists are allowed to do whatever they want. So
Heather,
Just
can I ask one rule or one question, I
yeah,
guess?
of course.
So I would love for this to be interactive. Can we ask pharmacists questions as well?
Sure, sure. And you have a good group of folks that will answer you in here. So absolutely ask away, make it a conversation. Look, see, Ryan gets it. Me and Ryan
Perfect.
are here already.
Awesome. I'm in.
Okay. So Ryan, I will start with you. Tell me about yourself and a little bit about how Skinesa came to be.
Good deal. I appreciate. First, let me say thank you guys for all being here. And I know you've probably heard about 1,000 probiotics. In fact, we never even start with the concept of us being probiotics. We are a treatment for eczema and psoriasis. Period. We can't say that because we're a supplement. We can't say treat, cure, heal, any of those words. But you can ask 130,000 people that have already used us what they think. We get testimonials that come in every day, people telling us how we changed their lives, how they want to give us hugs, how their daughter, their son, their cousin, their husband has seen something life changing and has experienced something. And some of these people have been dealing with problems for over 30 years, our geriatric population, and they're coming to us telling us, not only is my skin looking better, I had psoriasis for X number of years, but all of a sudden I can move better than I ever have before, most likely psoriatic arthritis. So when you look at the inflammation, components of those two types of ailments and see how similar they are and kind of what we're doing on the back end, that's where this all kind of comes from. So Skinesa basically comes out of about 10 years of research at the University of Valencia in Spain. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Spanish probiotic industry, but there was a massive flu years and years ago. You probably have heard of, the Spanish influenza, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just wiping out the population. And one guy doesn't end up getting it, and they can't figure out why. And they had done a fecal sample on the person to try to figure out, is there something, potentially in his gut that might be a reason. They found that he had a different type of E. coli. They started to build out that E. coli and populate it across their population. And lo and behold, they got rid of the Spanish flu. There's a whole bunch of papers on that. Very interesting stuff. So for 100 years, the Spaniards have been very interested in kind of the gut axis, the gut brain axis, the gut skin axis. How can we use this in a healthy manner? And the University of Valencia has been studying this kind of stuff forever. So they had genomically sequenced over 10,000 people that had eczema and psoriasis, and we're looking at the bacteria in their gut and what was different in their bacteria versus a healthy person. Then once they had kind of made those determinations, they went and did their GRAS studies, which are generally regarded as safe. And then once that they said, hey, these kind of bacteria are safe to put, in somebody's mouth, etc. Let's go test them on worms, and let's go test them, all the way up the food chain to make sure that we can kind of see some sort of results. So they would give a sample to a worm that had, been injected with the equivalent of eczema or psoriasis. Make sure, a worm we can kind of segment and have exactly the same DNA. It's exactly the same worm. It replicates itself over and over. So these studies go in a very, very scientific fashion for about 10 years until we finally get to the study where we took children, 4 to 17 years old, put them in a study. We did a double-blind placebo study. And that study gets published in JAMA Dermatology, basically Journal of American Medicine. So that's kind of the Grammy, winning award. So that study shows almost 90% efficacy, which is crazy. Wow. That's better than the Humiras, the Dupixents, the Otezlas, all the stuff that you guys probably have in your pharmacies today. And I know I was on a call with Lisa 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I had asked a question of the pharmacist, like, how much do you guys make on Humira? And they said 0, which is crazy, that they have to hold it. And I was baffled by that. I thought it was going to be, I don't know, $100, something. But, we can be something that is, also being used at the same time as a Humira or as a Dupixent, or as an Otezla, or as, take your pick of Betazole, any of the steroids that are out there, that kind of stuff. So 30% roughly of the population in the United States has either eczema or psoriasis. 30%, that's a huge number. So look at how many people walk in your door every day, and just figure 3 out of 10 of those people have some sort of skin condition in that range. So Go ahead, Craig. I know you might want to jump
Yeah,
in.
no, I was going to say, Ryan, that's a great introduction and a great segue. And for those of you in the audience, pharmacists, techs that are out there, Ryan's comment, that's what a typical American thinks, that the pharmacist is getting rich off of dispensing what the primary care or specialist is prescribing. And those of us that have been in and around this business, certainly on the independent side, know that that is certainly not true. And that's why we're here today. First and foremost, this product wouldn't matter if it wasn't improving patient outcomes. So we know it is 135,000 plus active users today in North America. Super proud of the fact that Ryan and his team do a tremendous marketing job of putting it out there through the channels that they need to in order to sell through e-commerce. And now for the first time, it's available exclusively to independent pharmacists in retail. No other place in retail, exclusively to independent pharmacists, because we wanted to make sure, because, candidly, I thought this was just such a natural fit. Here's a product that's been incubated, it's been proven, it's been tested, and now we have to make it available through those that actually give a shit, and that's independent pharmacists. And the fact that they're able to come around the counter, talk to them about their condition, their problem, what's happening to them personally, or their child, or their aunt, or their uncle, or their mother that they're caring for. And then they can bring up, obviously, the topic of Skinesa if it falls into that rosacea, psoriasis, itchy skin, eczema, etc. And we're also very clear on what it doesn't work for. If you have acne, this isn't for you, right? But as Ryan was starting to talk about, there are enough patient populations that you have in your POS system that when it's time to make this a program, and the time is now, it can be extremely lucrative for the pharmacy, which is needed in today's world. But most importantly, the patient outcomes are tremendous. So Ryan, didn't mean to cut you off. Just wanted to
No, that's
kind of
fine.
bring it
That was
full circle.
perfect.
I know we have limited time.
Yeah. So going back to patient outcomes, just like planting a garden, this takes some time. So the study was done over 90 days. So keep that in mind. The product that we put in your hands has 2 bottles in it. Each bottle has 30 pills, so you'll have a total of 60, or I should say capsules. You'll have a total of 60 capsules to give these patients. So that's going to get them about 2/3 of the way through the process. And what you're going to find with these guys is about 2/3 of the way through, they're going to start to see results. They come back and complete the cycle. Then what you find is there's 2 types of buyers of our product, and we're seeing this on the e-commerce side. Buyer 1 is what we call the Band-Aid. Just like they come to your pharmacy to buy Band-Aids, they come and they buy Skinesa. They say, "Oh, here comes fall. I know it's dry skin season. I'm going to buy this in advance. I'm going to use it through the fall and winter, and then I'm going to go back to spring where everything's humid and moist, and I don't have to worry about this." So that's buyer 1. Buyer 2 is what we call the believer. Once they use it, they said, something's different. 30 years has gone by and I don't feel this good. I've never felt this good. And my skin is better. And I'm just going to continue using this and I'm not going to stop. And so you're going to have those 2 buyer groups that kind of now can come into your pharmacy more and more. And I think that's the multiplier that probably, Heather, I think you were alluding to earlier.
Yeah, definitely. And for those folks that, so I am in the asthma, I have eczema because of asthma bucket of folks. So I don't take anything for it. I just had this eczema patch that would come up on my leg and it was disgusting. And it looked something like it was not just eczema, but I promise everybody it was just eczema. But I am in the 2-month mark, I think, of taking it every day. And it is significantly better. I can't really get pictures because I am so dang white that I couldn't get it to pop up very well. But my leg, and it's a good portion of my leg above my ankle, that is significantly better. I've now gotten it for my daughter who has eczema. She has severe asthma, so eczema all over her body, and we're only in a couple weeks, so we'll see where she falls in line. but it definitely has made a difference in that one embarrassing spot for me. So
Sure.
it
And
works for both, for those, even those patients that I don't think I've ever told my doctor about that spot on my leg. I just knew what it was, and I would
sure.
lather it up with whatever I had, and then move about my day.
Yeah, and Heather, it's great that you have this, live testimonial. For the others, if you go to Skinesa, SKINESA.com, leadership there for years has done a great job of tracking their user relation, and you're going to see literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of before and after pictures, and you're going to see dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of live testimonials, real
Yeah, I'm
people
going to
sitting in the
interject one
room.
second.
Ryan, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, what was amazing to us is when we first started, you start day one, you don't have any proof other than the science. And then the first testimonials come in. And at this point, the National Eczema Association is like, who are you guys? They're not going to let us in the event. They don't want to have anything to do with us. Last year, when we went to the National Eczema Association's event, where most of the people that had been there have tried Skinesa now and have had success, they said Skinesa has basically been the most significant change to the eczema community in 20 years, which is crazy. They wouldn't let us in the door 3 years ago, and now they're telling us that. I'm like, wow, it is amazing. So that's a massive leap forward, but every testimonial we've ever gotten has come unsolicited. That's the other craziest piece about this, is that people actually, they literally take pictures and they send them randomly to us. Every day our customer support people get these, and they say, you won't believe this. Look at my arm. Look what my arm used to look like. Look at my child's hands. My daughter couldn't tie her shoes. My daughter couldn't pick up a pencil. Boom, boom, boom. Now she's playing volleyball. And so these stories they're life-changing, and you're really seeing this group of people that was totally ostracized because it's such an outward-facing problem, So somebody sees it, they go, ooh, that looks contagious, because they don't know any better that it's not, and they stay away. Oh, I'm not going to go talk to that person. But that poor person now feels, humiliated and left out and all those things. And when you have the ability to change their life, it's unbelievable, the testimonies that we're getting in. And the point of sale unit that we provide you guys, it's a solid cardboard box, but it'll have some of those testimonials on it. We provide you guys some bag stuffer. We've got a poster for your windows if you want to put it in a drive-thru or whatever it might be. All of those will have some of those pictures and the testimonies that are real. If you see us online, you'll see all these really good marketing videos our team's made, but all that's real. This is crazy how many of these things just come in, and we just ask these people, you mind if we use this? And everybody says, absolutely. I want to tell somebody else what happened. So,
sure. No,
I agree that it turns into a quality of life thing. It's I can wear shorts in the summertime without thinking about, oh my gosh, I look like I am, walking around contagious.
Yes.
We got a question. Is there an age limit? Is it okay for children?
Yeah, great question. And Ryan, I'll let you talk about the Skinesa product, but that's a nice segue. For the pharmacies, there's a children's chewable that will be made available on or before February 1st. So we're taking pre-orders on that. But Ryan, do you want to talk about Skinesa? And
I'm just going to jump in on that one too.
Yeah.
So we spent about 2 years developing a kids formula. It's a slightly lower dosage, but still above the dosage of our original JAMA studies. And the reason it is we know probiotics die in the bottle. So what we try to do at time of manufacture is keep the numbers high so that as things go, we still have the stability in the bottle at room temperature to ensure that the patient gets the kind of efficacy that they'd expect. The kids product specifically is going to be a chewable tablet. Tastes good. It's berry flavored. It's got a cartoon character that kind of goes along with this. Her name is Bifido, which is one of the Bifido bacteria that we use. And so there's, kind of a context there. And we just released that in October to test it in the marketplace. And, the feedback that we're getting from moms is this is the first time I didn't have to fight my daughter. This is by the way, that's our mascot. That's me and our mascot. We just got our mascot in the other day. So she'll be going to like a Little League World Series and a few other places, and kids events that will allow us to go out there. But yeah, she kind of carries through all of our products.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, what that looks like.
Oh, yeah.
And she will actually, amongst a few other bacteria, she will be fighting bad bacteria. So we have skin heroes and skin villains. And so it's kind of thematic, and the kids will have the opportunity to get there. And we've even talked about going as far as someday, we're not there yet, so just keep that in mind, but someday having maybe a little action figure within that probiotic. So when you put it on the shelf, it'll be a nice clamshell. You'll have a little action figure. A 3-year-old walks by, sees it, and goes, "Mom, I want that." And hopefully you guys sell a lot more of it that way. That'd be kind of a retail only offer.
That's good.
So I hope, Heather, that answers the question. I hope I didn't confuse anybody. The children's chewable is available on or before February 1st. Skinesa is available to you tomorrow. As soon as we get your order and get you in the system, I walk you through it. Along with your first order comes some of the materials Ryan spoke about. All marketing materials for the pharmacy. If you have a drive-through, you're going to get a drive-through poster. You're going to get bag stuffers, right? You're going to get one sheets. So your techs and your cashiers, everybody is acquainted with it. And a host of other materials as well. Once you receive that with your first order,
let me
and the orders are, go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy. So one more thing I did want to comment, because the question really was about age, right? And so age is appropriate. We do have people that open the capsules. That's why we really came out with the tablets. They would open the capsule, they would pour it in a spoonful of applesauce or something and feed it to their child that was 2 or 3 years old. We only tested to 4 simply for the sake of that's what we could get with a reasonable sample size. As we got into kind of more the lower end pediatric population, it was more difficult to get people that had eczema or psoriasis to bring their children in, and it was cumbersome. So can it be used? Yes. Did we test it? No. We have success with it? Yes.
Very good. Very good. Well, Craig, you took my thunder. I was going to ask you, I'm sold. What's next? And you told us. Now, in addition, though, I do want to add that so the Craig's onboarding, what he just walked you through, is valuable. But I will say that Craig is a very reachable person and could teach a cockatoo how to sell something. So if you had your folks reach out to Craig and talk to him, or he scheduled some sort of training with them, it would be worth the one case that you buy and sell at the beginning. He's extremely knowledgeable in teaching folks how to sell without selling. He's extremely knowledgeable in getting your folks comfortable in selling. So I would take that as a value add when you're buying this product as well.
Great. And I appreciate that and the kind words, and I guess I can only go down from there. So thank you for setting the bar. No, it is important that when we do speak and that we do get you set up in the system, when we're on that particular call and products are on the way to the pharmacy, what I like to do is I like to schedule a 25-minute, you call it a lunch and learn, whatever you'd like, with any of the pharmacies, any of the picks, techs, so they, as Heather said, so they could feel comfortable engaging, your patient with this particular product. And it doesn't have to be an either or, it's also an and we get into all of that. And then we get into the mining, if you will, as I mentioned earlier, and looking into the point of sale system and looking at what's being dispensed and who within your patient population can benefit from this. And it's really it's a joy. I've been working with independents for years now, and love the education piece, which I call it education. Other people call it sales, but it really is just benefiting the end user, which is your patient.
Yeah, 100%. That I agree. It's both educate. I mean, it is education on one certain thing. I would, and just like Craig just said, this isn't an or product. You don't have to pick one or the other. This is something that'll sell on its own because it's so very specific.
Yeah.
It's not an all over probiotic.
One thing that I do want to mention, and it's super important, before I start handing out contact information and all that. Ryan had mentioned we sell it in units of 60. That's because we have a 74% efficacy rate when somebody's on it for 60 days. So that's the way it's sold. What it amounts to, the cost for the pharmacy on as opposed to the suggested retail is significantly different. Tremendous margin for the pharmacy. It comes to about $1 and change for the end user on a daily basis. But once they get it, and they're part of that 74%, they want to be on a maintenance program. So we crack the box and then we sell them on 30s after that. And then you have a continual user, right? Some people may stop using it and say, hallelujah, I'm healed. And 60, 90 days later, they're going to say, well, maybe I should have continued with the product. And they'll come back and then they'll be a regular user, if you will. But we'll talk about how to, without taking too much time of the already overworked staff, make sure that they're communicating at a cadence that makes sense for your internal team, but for the patients as well. So
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love this, and I do want to mention I take Skinesa with another probiotic, so it hasn't killed me. I mean, I'm still here annoying all of you.
there
So
you go. Hey,
I don't know if I'm the hero or the villain, but
yeah. So I see a question from Richard Stryker. Yes, we have point of purchase marketing material available. That comes to you when you receive your first order. If you want to reach out to me directly, Craig Presser, Craig, Presser, Presser @gmail.com, craigpresser@gmail.com, or call me 561-400-3811. Give me about 48 hour on responses. There's just so much going on. I hope that's okay. I'll try and get to it sooner. But if you send me, just reach me, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, send up a smoke signal, whatever the case is. I'll get back to you. We'll get on a call. I'll share those in-store marketing material pieces with you. And hopefully we'll have an opportunity to start working together after I get to know a little bit about, your pharmacy and what your needs are, which is the most important thing.
right. And all of this will be in the replay that'll go out tomorrow as well. The replay for this, all of the contact information, how to get a hold of Craig. Yeah,
Super.
I am so happy that you guys came.
No, well, thank you for having us,
We
and
appreciate it.
the shameless plug is, I guess there's a significant discount if you're a Diversify member. So we appreciate being a part of that community, and look forward to helping some folks out.
Yeah. Is there any other questions before I look at Craig? Is good. He kept us on track, guys. We are exactly at 11:30. We like to get in and get out around here.
Well,
I have one hand raised. Yes, Natalie. Do you want to pop it in the chat? Oh, there we go. She got it. Is there a minimum quantity?
yeah. So the first order, we'd like to do a dozen. And again, when we go over the numbers, it's certainly not a high price point, something every pharmacy can manage. But that falls in nicely with our point of purchase piece of material. For the children's, it comes in an 8-pack. So The other reason for that, Natalie, is on the shipping side of things. If we're shipping onesie twosies, then it's typically the freight carriers that are making the money. So we like to send out, a dozen pieces, and that way it's the pharmacy that's making the money.
Yeah. Any other questions, friends? Well, this is good. This is great. Again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ryan and Craig, number one, for coming on, humoring me. I know you just did a podcast, so go watch their podcast as well as this. But I wanted to bring you on because we have kind of a different group over here. We're kind of more badass over here in our webinars. So I wanted to make sure to get you in front of my friends. So thank you guys for humoring me, coming on and teaching all of my friends about your fabulous product. I love it. Again, folks, Pharmacy Profit Summit, get your tickets. If you want me to stop telling you about it, tell me that you got your tickets and I'll leave you alone. And then, of course, we would love to be to have you become a member. We have our $100 membership that you get your newsletter every month that deep dives into one particular topic. And you get all of the fabulous discounts that Craig alluded to earlier, which they have an absolute fantastic one that is only for our members. So check it out. If you don't have time to scan this, email me or the fabulous Mike, and we will get back to you and teach you how it's done. Thank you, everybody. Look, we're at 33. Get 2 minutes of your life back. Have an awesome Wednesday. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks again.